Konnan, did you get to watch the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Okay, what did you think?
Well, I think the thing that stuck out the most to me was, like, I'm not sure why they stuck Charlotte in that match with Becky and Ronda, because I think there's enough heat between them. I don't know if they wanted to make sure that match would turn out good, if it wanted a little bit more star power. Not sure why she was in there. We knew Becky was going to be in WrestleMania, so that match to me wasn't that exciting. I just wanted to see what Ronda's participation would be, and I thought it was very weak. She went in there, stomped on her, and she got disqualified. That was it. Joe, now Becky Lynch is in WrestleMania. That was it. I thought that was
strange. Definitely strange.
Just fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
This pay-per-view needs to be eliminated, this fast lane, because it always complicates things on the way to WrestleMania. You already know where it's going to wind up, and they have to keep coming up with these convoluted scenarios to have this fast lane pay-per-view. Every year it's weak.
So the pay-per-view, I didn't watch it till the Revival match. I always miss the first hour because for some reason I think it starts at 3. It's 5 Eastern instead of 5 Pacific instead of 4. So the Revival, Scott. I mean, that was okay. Let me see. There's a couple things I wanted to. Samoa Joe versus.
It was very weird to me. It was very weird to me. Like, for example, originally, if you remember in the pre-show, they had Rey and Andrade,
yes.
Which we actually got into a very spirited discussion on our fucking what's our thing called, the group chat,
the group text.
Me, Jericho, and Shane about that.
Yeah.
But I was glad that they put Rey and Andrade in the on the main show. But I'm a big Nakamura fan. I know you're not, Disco. And it's just kind of sad to me to see that how he hasn't gotten over in the United States, and it did start with bad booking.
Bro, let me tell you why it's not getting over in the United States. Okay, bro, this is so obvious. Okay, because I do Vince's podcast, and we talk more about wrestling news of the week and stuff. And Vince knows Vince McMahon. Okay, and just the conversation I have with Vince today, I know the guys that Vince is not going to want to push. Like that, they keep bringing these guys, that the internet loves, and stuff, but you just know that.
Then why put them on the show?
Bro, that's the problem they have these days.
Raw is Vince's show. So if he sees Nakamura's in NXT and they're bringing him to Raw, why doesn't he say, "I don't want him here"? Why are you using people you don't want to push?
Well, I mean, he did wrestle for the title at WrestleMania last year, so they have used him, in top spots. It just hasn't been consistent, and it hasn't been for a while.
Yeah, I just thought it started off with very bad booking. Bro, and it's weird because I remember when Lana and Rusev first came out, they were this great power couple, and then Rusev got heat because Lana had heat. They were this like Russian, Bulgarian, like power couple. Then she went with Dolph, which was super Jojo Dutch. But this guy, Rusev, lost a lot of weight, was super over with that Rusev Day, and to see them on the pre-show not really meaning shit, it's like, wow. New Day is super duper over, in their match. Miz was over in his hometown, which, we thought he would be. Miz's dad reminds me a little bit of, have you ever seen South Park, Stan, the dad?
Yeah.
He looks like the red-haired version of Stan. And bro, and that was a good turn by Shane McMahon, really turned Miz. And another thing, like I was watching that match between Mandy Rose and Asuka, and Mandy's not on Asuka's level. They should let these girls get seasoned and marinate in NXT before they bring them to the main roster. I get tired of seeing talent that isn't ready on the main roster. It's almost like bringing somebody from AA ball to the major leagues who isn't ready. You know what I'm saying?
And Mandy's very young in the business, too. You remember, she only started through Tough Enough, so she didn't have any kind of experience other than their system.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. Here's my watch them. If you watch a crowd reaction, here were the matches. So Revival against Ricochet and Aleister Black against Bobby Roode and Gable. Then there was Samoa Joe versus Andrade versus R-Truth versus Rey Mysterio. Then it was Sasha and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Then it was Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens versus Mustafa Ali for triple threat for the WWE. Bro, I'm just watching this match. This show like that. Those 4 matches together, when I'm watching this, it just looks like each match is just spot after 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 spot. Just a constant barrage of like an hour and a half of spots where nothing really. There was no storytelling. There was no. It was just spot after spot after spot. And like all the matches looked the same to me. And like and then that's what happens when you book these 4 ways, 3 ways, 2 ways. I mean, they had all these things like Jesus Christ. I mean, they can't come up with enough creative to build like an angle between 2 guys. Yeah, that they have to put all these freaking things, these men and these spider, and all the matches. Like, bro, I want to see a feud. I want to see personal issues between performers, not just we're all wrestling for the title and 3 people in the match. We're all trying to win the belt and spot after spot. It looks terrible. It just does absolutely nothing for me. I mean, do you agree with that?
Well, there were some storylines, but yeah, that's what happens when you put.
The story of the match is that guys are invulnerable to pain and they kick out of everything. That's the story to each match. If you look at some of the moves these guys do moves that should be finishers because they look better than the finishers.
Okay, like for example, the match with Kofi Kingston in the bar. Obviously, they're waiting to get. I'm thinking they're going to give Kofi the win in WrestleMania. That's why they keep doing that to him.
Big time,
right?
Yeah.
So that was an angle right there. We started an angle with Shane McMahon and The Miz. When he attacked him. There's an angle there. Becky Ronda, even though it was badly done, there's another angle right there. Okay, but yes, there's 2 men.
Those 4 matches. Okay, now we're getting to Becky.
Yeah, no. And you're right, because I told you, bro, I once went to PWG, and I love that type of wrestling, just going back and forth, boom, 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 boom. But after a while, it all looks the same. That's why you've got to have, that's why what I try to do in AAA is have a hardcore match, have a comedy match, have an intergender match, have a match with a storyline, have a high flyer. You know what I'm saying? So it isn't all just
show, because you're getting visions of pops and heat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, what the finish is, I'll put this here, get heat, but like all you're getting in these is, if they're doing a lot of risky stuff, you're getting this is awesome chance. That's it. There's like no heat. There's no real pops for the babyface. It's just like if all these spots, some of the spots are very creatively done and the fans chant, this is awesome. That's what those 4 matches. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, it was what it was, but they had a chance. And here's the thing. They had a really good opportunity to basically tighten the screws and, and what do you call it? To tighten, like, they're trying to put the thing as Ronda's shooting, right?
Right.
You could logically still keep telling that story, but what they've done is they did it. Here's the thing. They did it for 1 week, all right, and now they're back to just she's integrated in a.
She should have gone in there and beat the shit out of Becky Lynch, bro.
Bingo. That from the time. If
you're gonna get disqualified, beat the shit out of Becky Lynch and leave with heat. Don't just go in there and stomp on her and then lay against the ropes and look at the fucking WrestleMania thing with a black glove like you're a badass now. Yeah, that was so fucking weak.
Now you've taken me out of the realism thing that Ronda was doing, and now this is all part of the angle. So like, they did it because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do stuff like this, bro. Because nobody's done this before, where somebody calls them marks and shoots and said wrestling's a work. It's But what I'm saying, they needed to do this thing, like take it all the way up to the match. Because it's like the whole mystique of it has just disappeared, because that's just what they do. They just don't know how to do stuff like this, or like keep telling a story for a long period of time, or maybe because they have so many writers, you have people talking them out of things on a week-to-week basis that they should be, sticking to, So
well, she kept the story.
We were doing our thing. They were saying there's 50 writers in a room. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And there's a monitor in Stanford, so whoever's watching that's another 4 or 5 guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, they continued the story.
Done, huh?
They continued her story on Raw, though. She came out and cut a similar promo. I'm going to do whatever the F I want, and I'm going to beat the shit out of them at Mania, and no one can stop me and stuff. So they're still kind of continuing it. If you saw Ronda's promo from last night.
She should have gone in there and beat the shit out of the girl, not just said it. Keep getting your heat.
Yeah, she should have whooped both of them.
Right. So those are the missed opportunities, bro. If you're going to get heat, like the type of heat you're trying to put on her to go to WrestleMania, she should have gone in there and beat the fuck out of Becky, and Charlotte should have just been smiling. You know what I'm saying? And then she should have gone in there on fucking Monday Night Raw and bitch slap both those bitches and beat the fuck out of them. And say, anybody in the audience, anybody in the dress room, come get me. You know what I'm saying?
Because here's what you're doing. You're saying, okay, what would Ronda Rousey, because me and Vince talk about this on the YouTube about, what would my character do given the situation? What would Ronda Rousey, the shooter that thinks wrestling's fake, what would she do?